As promised, it is the holiday concert edition of Daytime. From one amazing concert to another, and what I like is they differ so incredibly from each other, but still, you know, that idea of doing it around the holidays and gathering with friends and family for a concert, it's one of the best things you can do, and probably a great, you know, early gift for somebody out there as well that's on your list. Joining me to talk about Vivaldi's Gloria in Four Seasons, a fabulous concert coming up on December 9th. I'm joined by Ania Hejnar. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ania, let's start off talking a little bit about yourself. Tell me about yourself as a performer.
Well, I am a local performer. I perform nationally and locally. I originate as an opera singer, but recently, thanks to the pandemic, I crossed over into more modern style music as well, so I'm very fortunate to be able to do a little bit of both.
Right.
You might see me at the Sens Games or TD Place. I do a lot of the anthems here.
Yeah.
I do a lot of anthems for the Ottawa U convocations, University of Ottawa convocations as well. And in general, we just, you know, have a lot of fun and get what we can get.
I love it. Well, let's talk about this specific concert because it is a great opportunity for people if they're not familiar with these types of performances. Tell us what's so special and unique about them.
Well, this particular performance is going to bring together 150 choristers and 3 choirs in total. So it's SPNM, Société Philharmonique de Nouveau Monde.
Okay.
And Maestro Michel Brousseau is the conductor. Now, the choirs are from Ottawa, outside of Montreal, and from Montreal.
Okay.
And tomorrow, in fact, everybody's going to be coming together with an orchestra, with some orchestra members from Montreal and Ottawa. All in one, we're going to be rehearsing together and creating this amazing work of Vivaldi's Gloria. But in addition, we also have a wonderful violinist. He's a renowned violinist, Alexandre Da Costa. And what's really special about his performance is that he will be playing his Stradivarius from the year 1701.
I just get chills when you say that.
And you will get chills when you see it, and you'll get chills when you hear it too.
So these 3 choirs, they're only getting together for a fairly short period of time, right?
Fairly short period of time.
To be able to put something like this together, I mean, that's pretty incredible, right?
Yes, I believe tomorrow will be their first rehearsal together.
Okay.
Maestro Brousseau, he travels to Ottawa and he lives in Montreal. He's Montreal-based, and he also goes to the outside of Montreal, Sainte-Thérèse area. So he has a lot of rehearsals in a week, of course, as well.
Right.
And yes, we'll be bringing it all together tomorrow for our first rehearsal, where we will then later present 3 performances. December 9th will be here in Ottawa at Dominion Chalmers at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
We also have Sainte-Thérèse, which will be Wednesday, December 14th, also at 8. And then our grand finale in Montreal, December 17th at 8 o'clock.
Nice. Vivaldi's Gloria. Describe it to people, for people that aren't familiar with it.
Well, it's about rejoicing over the holidays and, you know, bringing glory and happiness to praising the Lord, if you will.
Right.
And it incorporates solo performances, which I'm fortunate to have a soprano solo in there. And then also we have a wonderful Mezzo Soprano Stéphanie Pothier. She's a Montreal-based Mezzo Soprano.
Okay.
So both her and I will be performing together.
Nice.
And the choirs just have these wonderful works where they're singing in glory. It's a wonderful work.
And then Four Seasons, how would you describe that?
Well, this would be one of Vivaldi's very first pieces that really reminisce about nature, and it was one of the very first kind of works that was created where you can hear the nature in the music.
Really?
So in spring, you can, for example, hear a little bit of the birds chirping with the violins.
Right.
Or in the winter seasons, you can hear the chit-chat of the coldness from like the cellos. And it's so really it just incorporates a visual for the music.
Tell me a little bit more about your background. I mean, you mentioned anthems and so forth, but you know, what was the beginning? What sort of inspired you to become a singer?
I started off as a violinist when I was a child, and so I studied violin. I lived in Brockville, and I would travel to Ottawa, and I was part of the Ottawa Junior Youth Orchestra, which is still happening.
Yes.
It's really great. And I also really enjoyed singing, so I transferred over to classical singing. I did my undergraduate and my master's at the University of Ottawa.
Okay.
And after that, I was really lucky to be a part of the Opera Lyra studio chorus.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Before we have it no longer, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
it is unfortunate, for sure. We used to have them on the show all the time.
It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, for sure. For people that have never experienced opera before, I think sometimes people find it intimidating and they may not understand the language, but it really is telling. I think people would be surprised at how easily they can follow along a story, right?
Absolutely. The music tells the story and shows the emotions.
Yeah.
And it's not really about understanding the language because, we have opera in Italian, the Vivaldi Gloria will be in Latin, we have German, even in French, which would be a little bit better in Ottawa to understand. But that's not the point. We want to, showcase the emotions behind the music and the beauty and the talent and the craft that musicians can create as a whole together. You
mentioned during the pandemic you sort of transitioned to doing some more modern music. Tell me about that. I mean, what by modern music, what do you mean exactly?
A little bit of voiceover work.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, working in a studio, I was commissioned to write a little bit of music for a couple of novels.
Really?
And some really great composers chose to do some crossover music, which is a cross between classical and pop.
Okay.
And I was really fortunate to be a voice on a couple of albums for that.
Very nice. So, outside of this, then, are you touring, or what does life look like for you outside of this particular concert?
Well, I do tour a little bit. I'm hired to work sometimes in Toronto, in Montreal. I was in the East Coast in the springtime as well. Aside from this, I'm a drama and music teacher at Glebe Montessori School.
Oh, excellent.
Where we also have our own performance coming up of JJ and the Giant Beanstalk. My lovely little kids are going to be having fun with that in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
I'm also a proud mummy of 2.
Excellent. Well, really looking forward to this concert. As I said, my wife and I so wanted to go, but unfortunately we're out of town. But you can go at home. Ania, first, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Vivaldi's Gloria in 4 Seasons, just a wonderful experience. 150 people involved in the choir, and then one of the greatest violinists you'll ever see. Dominion Chalmers, December 9th at 8 p.m. You can find tickets on Eventbrite. We'll be right back.